Well, today we got some more information about the fate of Andromeda, this time the multiplayer aspect. And the news was about as good as it was for the single player. This morning, during the weekly live stream of the multiplayer with the developers, we got some news, specifically that the no more patches for Mass Effect Andromeda didn't just include the single player, it also includes the multiplayer. So right now, there's going to be no further multiplayer support. What they have already released and what has already came out in the last patch, specifically several new characters, a few new bits of kit, and a couple Apex missions, are going to be it. That's the end of it. Now, undoubtedly, being EA, they're going to keep the servers running and the store open, of course. But this is really the end for the multiplayer component as well. While technically you could call keeping the servers open support, I don't think any of the players actually considered that, especially since several major problems with the multiplayer are still present in the game, and with no more client-side patches coming, they're not going anywhere. Specifically, I'm talking about the tendency for the sync kill animations of some of the larger enemies in the multiplayer to be wildly out of sync, ironically, with what you're seeing on your screen. You'll just have a fiend or a Talon will just all of a sudden warp halfway across the map, grab you, and kill you. That's going to be staying in the game. The difficulty with getting syncs for things like headshots and for Vanguard charges are not going to be fixed, so they'll continue to be present. And just in general, that's the end of it. If they can't tweak it server side, it's not getting fixed. And I have to say, I wouldn't expect much in the way of a team or balancing for anything server side. They might stay around a little bit to make sure the last of this content gets released properly, but I'm pretty much expecting that EA has pulled out everything. I find this rather interesting because the multiplayer for Mass Effect Andromeda has only been live for about 5 months, and to have a multiplayer game have its, life support pulled that quickly is, I actually can't remember the last time that we had a major AAA game's multiplayer component gone just like that. I mean, servers for Mass Effect 3's multiplayer are still going. To me, this points towards two possibilities. The first is that the multiplayer is just no longer making enough money. There's not enough people paying money for packs to actually be worth keeping the servers going. The resources are better spent elsewhere. This is entirely possible because Mass Effect 3's multiplayer has really been plagued with quite a lot of problems. Like I said, the Fiend issue, the getting headshots as a sniper issue, all that stuff has been present since the very first day of the open beta, essentially. And it still hasn't been fixed almost 6 months later. And that's going to be a bit of a downer on people who are looking to actually spend money. Not to mention, the recent additions to the loot pool have been more or less just filler. A blatant attempt to try to milk a bit more money out of the consumer. Option number 2, EA is just trying to wash their hands of Andromeda in its entirety. It's not too hard to think that EA might just be completely done with this game and sick of the potential bad press that it's generating. Given that they're killing off the single-player component, they might figure that, amidst the furor, they can kill off the multiplayer component and it's not really going to add anything to the bad press. Well, personally, it's probably a mixture of both. But again, I have to say this, Mass Effect deserved better. The fans deserved better than to just have this game unceremoniously killed off. While I personally don't support this game's loot crate-based economy, there are plenty of people who've spent quite a bit of money on this game, and to have it just terminated after 5 months is just a major disservice. And again, it's just one more black mark on the franchise. This is pretty much the end of Andromeda. Regardless of how you felt about the game, it's done. There's nothing left to keep your eyes open for. In the end, maybe this is a blessing. We can all just put this behind us and move on and get ready for that long wait for the next Mass Effect game. Can't say I'm happy about it, though. This has been Bucketeer. I'll catch you next time.